Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I would like to share with you something that I have created for my mom. I have made a watercolor card for my mom, and I wrote, "You are one and only in the world." And I have decorated it with a floral design and some leaves. So this is also a pop-up card. I'm not an artist. Actually, my profession is language. So I could say that my left side brain is probably more developed. I'm more logical or analytical person. I'm probably not very good in my right side of the brain. I'm not really good in sports or in this kind of thing like painting with watercolor. Well, in my childhood, of course, I did this, and in April this year, when I was visiting Australia because of my job, I was listening to an audiobook on the plane, and I heard that we should develop our creativity, and usually our creativity is governed by the right side of the brain, so we must do something to activate that side of the brain, to create something new and try to be creative. So I decided to spend a certain amount of time each day to create something new, so that I develop my right side of the brain. So I started watching YouTube videos and instructions how I could paint with watercolor, and how I could create 3D pop-up designs. So I'm not really an expert in this area. However, I decided, well, I could put whatever I have learned into something that I could also share with my mom. So the drawing, design and idea is not originally mine. I have used different YouTube videos to get an idea. Well, of course, the text is something I have written from my heart, and I have looked into different ways people draw floral themes and what kind of techniques they use. So I have kind of combined them together, and for example, I tried to draw a rose and also the blue flowers using different techniques. And also I have learned things I wasn't really aware before. For example, if you want to do a watercolor painting, you need to use 2 jars of water. I guess in my childhood I would use only 1 jar, and probably my paintings were quite dirty. However, now I realize I need a clean water to wash my brush. Especially I need to be careful with yellow paint, because yellow color is easily absorbs other colors. And I also learned that after the flower is dried up, I can add some more effects, like darker color in the middle. So when I started painting this card, I did not have really overall plan of my work or overall design. So I wrote my text, and then I decided I'm going to draw the flowers in the spaces between the words and around the words. And after following this plan, drawing without plan, I realized maybe I should have had a plan or some imagined picture in my head. So that would really help improve the quality of my painting. Well, probably we should think what kind of color, what kind of flower, where. And I also learned there are different techniques like wet on wet, wet on dry. So with the wet on wet technique, probably going without plan is a good idea, because you just let the colors mix together and create their own design. However, that is probably for more experienced artists. As for me, someone who is a beginner and who haven't been painting with watercolor for quite many years, probably it wasn't a very good idea for me just to start drawing without any plan. So even this kind of flowers, not the abstract design or wet and wet technique, I found it challenging for me, especially drawing the green stems and leaves. So I thought maybe I should have drawn with a pencil some strokes to guide me. I don't mean that the pencil drawing needs to be elaborate. However, it could help me indicate where I need to draw my stems and leaves. So also I learned that if I make a mistake, it's not a big deal. Actually, watercolor is very interesting. You can use a clean brush and clean water to apply it on the place you want to correct, and then you just use the tissue paper to absorb this excess color and make your corrections. So also another mistake I made is this brush. Actually, it's very broad, and this is something I borrowed from my daughter, and I was trying to use the edge of it to draw the fine lines, and I miserably failed. So next time I should use a proper brush. So even I made these mistakes, I was very happy with my creation, and also my mom was very happy. She was moved to tears. I think she wasn't expecting her daughter, who is also a mother of 3 children, would start drawing with watercolor and do a pop-up card for her. And another mistake I made is I started drawing green lines all over the card to fill in the space, so I didn't leave any breathing space. My design was a little bit too crowded, but for me, well, I'm very happy with the first product. And inside this card I made a pop-up flower, and on one side you'll see the background I made using the wet on wet technique, the colors absorbed into each other, and then on the other side I made another card where I wrote, "Mother, you are one and only in the world," and then I fixed it onto the page using colorful design tape. And this spiral thing that I have drawn is a little bit ugly because again, my brush was too broad and it was very challenging for me to draw fine lines. So next time I would probably use a pencil or some other medium. As for the flower, I just used a ready-made template. I don't think I am capable of creating a pop-up design at the moment. So if you wish, I think you can easily find a free template on internet. And I have used an origami paper, and my paper was colored on two sides, and unfortunately on one side it was black, or maybe that's good because it creates some some effect. So if I had construction paper which was of the same red color on both sides, probably that is also a very good alternative to this. And in the pop-up design, it is very important for us to make sure that the flower on the both sides of the fold is symmetrical. So creating a video is also something very new for me. So in the beginning, I was using my handphone to record myself, and later I asked my husband to make a recording using a camera, and the camera is fixed on a tripod. So, well, during the work in progress, I was trying to improve my video as well. So I hope in the future it will improve even more. So, human being is so wonderfully complex and capable of so many things. And unfortunately, so many aspects are not used. So, my main work is mostly reading and writing lines and lines of text, mostly translating. So I wouldn't be gazing at colorful designs like this during my usual ordinary work I do for earning the money. So I will need to intentionally do this kind of things to expose myself to something more colorful, and this is something I would do only when I'm working with my children, not for myself. So this was quite a new experience for me. Well, while I was creating this pop-up card, my youngest daughter had a high fever for quite many days. However, my father came to do some exercises on her, and that allowed me a brief moment, and I decided to use it to create this pop-up card. So my daughter has a chronic condition. She is a bedridden person. I need to take care of her around the clock, so I'm quite a busy person, and I have limited time to spend for myself. And whenever I have some time, I would mostly try to use it on earning money that I use to cover her medical costs. So in such circumstances, I believe it's very important to really intentionally provide yourself a room for creativity, and it can be even therapeutic. My daughter is brain damaged, so her diagnosis is hopeless according to doctors, and I have been fighting against it since her birth. I was trying and I am trying to extend her life. And my daughter is the source of my inspiration, and I need lots of strength, especially psychological strength, to overcome this. And it's very important for me to guard what I'm focusing on. If I focus on negative things of my life, like, oh, this went so wrong and my life is so awful, I don't have this, I don't have that, of course that will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I focus on positive things, and I always try to see the positive things and blessings of my life. Because my daughter is running high fever for many days, you might be wondering why you don't go to a hospital. Well, I have been to a hospital, and in the past, when she was in the hospital, she caught flu, and then it was deteriorated into pneumonia, because in one room we had 18 people, 9 patients. They were children who were sick, and there were 9 mothers taking care of them, and they were all crowded in the same room. So I'm not going to the hospital now. But don't worry, don't be scared that I'm such a careless mother. No, I'm actually aware of the symptoms, which are dangerous, and I would go immediately to the hospital. The first 2 years I spent mostly in the hospital. My daughter is a wonderful person. She's amazing. She has been fighting against death, and she had overcome so far. And when she was having this fever, and I was touching her, I was singing to her, I was saying soothing words to her, and I was praying for her, because I remembered my mother used to touch me and cuddle me when I was sick, and I felt like my pain was less when she was touching me and when she was comforting me. And recently I read an article that actually brain would create substances which reduce pain when we touch the person who is in pain. So I think that is a very important thing to remember. So, this is my pop-up card that I have created for my mom. And while creating, I have shared with you what I've been doing, how I've been doing, and why I've been doing. And it was my pleasure to share a piece of my life with you, and I hope that in the future I will greet you with more videos, and this is the end.